It's Halloween, and I'm dressed as a Five Nights at Freddy.
Exactly 10 years ago, 4.9 million strangers were, for a brief time, united as one. For a swift 89 minutes, 100 minutes including commercials, a whole generation of children retreated to what is regarded by critics as the high point of both fiction and non-fiction alike. The smash hit banger home run film, Girl vs. Monster.
Skylar was fearless.
Love you. Already late. Stop stressing over your presentation. Said the girl who knows no fear.
Until one Halloween.
What is that?
A lifetime of fears.
Where are the hunter?
Was unleashed.
What's happening?
Bad lady's immortal and wants to destroy your parents and possess your soul for all eternity. But hey.
This Monstober, it's fright.
Mom, Dad!
Versus fight. Good.
All of our friends are here.
Versus evil.
These things are real?
They sure are.
Girl vs. Monster, the Disney Channel original movie. Premieres this Monstober on Disney Channel.
Stamped by the Disney Channel original mark of quality, Girl vs. Monster is an action-adventure fever dream, boasting a decade of rave reviews, such as, "I love this movie, it brought tears to my eyes, it is the best movie I have ever seen. If I could pick a movie to watch for the rest of my life, it would be this. Saw this film 9 years ago and still have not stopped thinking about it since. I watch it every night before I go to bed. My husband hates me for it, but I don't care. I can't stop. I need serious help. Please, I really need to leave him. And I'm an orphan. This movie came out 5 days after they died in a building collapse. It helped." But what exactly makes this movie so special? Frankly, it'd be easier to ask, what doesn't make this movie so special? Because the answer is nothing. The story starts as we slowly pan in on a completely static JPEG of a mansion. It's October 30th, and Skylar and all her besties help set up tomorrow's epic wild Halloween bash. But when a banner is a bit crooked, Skylar takes matters into her own hands.
Don't do it!
You see, Skylar's the most badass to ever exist, because she doesn't feel fear. Not of anything.
How's that?
Once the banner's fixed, this saltine cracker of a human being named Ryan requests that Skylar take the mic and sing a song, and then we're treated to a random musical number 2 minutes in. You know, there was a time before all Disney Channel movies were randomly musicals. My Date with the President's Daughter, no songs, crazy, but ever since the success of High School Musical, Disney Channel started working songs and concerts into their every movie and production, even when it made very little sense to do so.
Camp Rock! Camp Rock! Camp Rock! Camp Rock!
This is probably the shining example of why is this a musical, because this is about a monster hunter. The protagonist didn't need to be a singer, but she is, and we get treated to unforgettable hits such as Had Me at Hello, Nothing's Gonna Stop Me, Had Me at Hello, Nothing's Gonna Stop Me, Fearless, and Had Me at Hello. None of which have big dance numbers or relate to the current events in the plot, but are rather standing performances at random points in the story. Because Girl vs. Monster is actually so good, it doesn't need to play by the rules of standard movie musicals. After the song, Skylar's friends Henry and Sadie suggest that Ryan probably has a crush on Skylar, but Skylar doesn't think so at all. Raising tension is the fact that Ryan's ex, Mira, has it out for Skylar and tells her to stay away from him and the performance, because she's actually the lead singer of the band. She's supposed to sing the part Skylar just sang, but Skylar happened to already know the part perfectly and sang it. Very cool. On their walk home through the cemetery, Skylar and Sadie are unknowingly almost ambushed by a gargoyle monster, who's swiftly caught and apprehended by the two lamest looking monster hunters I've ever seen. Upon arriving home, Skylar's parents forbid her from leaving tomorrow, as they themselves leave for a mold convention.
I was wondering if I could, have a later curfew?
Your dad and I were thinking no curfew.
Really?
Because it's so much better if you don't go out at all.
What?
Of course, there's no mold convention, that's simply their cover story. As the trailer casually spoiled to every 11-year-old in the audience, they are monster hunters.
My parents are monster hunters?
And the monsters are more active this year than ever before, with a particularly powerful one being contained in this mysterious unit.
Julie, we got 2 more monster stops to make.
They'll be out hunting tomorrow night, and Skylar will only be safe at home. Also here in the basement is Cobb, a family friend and another monster hunter, who refers to himself as Uncle Cobb. He's one of those aggressively cookie-cutter comic relief characters who lightens the mood with a goofy quip when things get too serious, and you just kind of think, well, I guess that wasn't not funny.
Teenagers, Give you nothing but trouble.
How would you know?
I have a cat. He's at a very difficult age right now. You know, this would be a lot more fun with the 2 of us. I hate Halloween! I'm swimming!
At school the next day on Halloween, Ryan casually allows his ex to massage his shoulders right in front of the girl he's currently trying to win the affection of. Luckily, Skylar doesn't take this as any sort of red flag.
I'm the bird now.
Mira's a little bit jealous, or as Bree from Lab Rats would say, jelly.
Scrawny is jelly because Bookworm got alien her powers back.
Ew, of all the attention Skylar's been getting. These don't fit on my hands. And she decides to do the same badass parkour that Skylar did earlier to straighten a banner in the school herself. And it doesn't go well for her. This scene also leads into one of my favorite movie reviews online of all time. Inappropriate film alert! I was baking my signature blueberry scones for our school PTA meeting, and my son Jefferson was watching this movie in the living room. During the scene where the mean girl Myra falls down the stairs, you can see a full shot of this young lady's bottom. Her undergarments were revealed, and as a Christian mother, I was obviously very concerned for my little Jefferson. My boy is only 14 years old, and he's never seen such things. This was completely unnecessary and inappropriate, especially for a Disney film. I am appalled to see this made the final cut. Unbelievable. Girl versus monster equals girl versus porn. Also, the young lad, Ryan, is very attractive. Having characters like this in a children's movie is extremely inappropriate considering my dear Jefferson's sudden arousal. We have already put him through enough conversion therapy, and we don't need any more babes like Ryan bringing the devil out of him again. Don't let your children watch this movie if you care about their innocence. Signed, Tiger Mom Lisa. Thanks, Tiger Mom Lisa. That was so cool. What was your live Lily reaction to that comment?
I cannot. What did they, she said it was like, what, something real porn? Like, are you serious?
I think it's a troll. There's no way that's a real thing someone said.
There's no way. As a real Christian woman.
It's like there's too many stereotypes for that to be a real human being. Jake asks Skylar to fill in for Mira at the performance, and she says yes, making her even more desperate to come to the party. Did you notice just now that I said Jake instead of Ryan? Did you even catch that I didn't say the character's correct name? Because TBH, I didn't until way later in editing. But at home, she's blindsided when her parents have left Cobb to babysit her.
Hey, ready to hang with Uncle Cobb? Play some classic board games? Maybe a little go fish?
With a newly installed security system to boot. Seeing no other options, Skylar simply cuts the power to the house, inadvertently releasing all of the most powerful monsters ever, including the terrifying being which had been contained in the dome, Daemata. Sadie and Henry arrive just as Daemata emerges, the most powerful monster of all, who's specially linked to Skylar. As Cobb explains in a moment, everyone has a personal monster who represents their greatest fear. Being a powerful 5th-generation monster hunter, Skylar's supreme power has led to the creation of a pretty powerful monster as well, the Scarlet Witch, apparently, who swoops away to capture Skylar's parents. Skylar's terrified for the first time in her life. She's never experienced any fear before due to the Scarlet Witch being contained, but now that she's released, 15 years of fear hit her all at once.
A lifetime of fears was unleashed.
What's happening?
Daimata captures Skylar's parents by imitating the voice of their daughter begging for help. We then get treated to one of the best fight scenes of all time. It's kind of wild to compare this to the movies from like a decade earlier. Look at Halloween Town. Absurd story, goofy nonsense just like this, but at least they had like practical monsters and animatronics. But everything in Girl vs. Monster is just the cheapest looking CGI. The majority of Lab Rats, which debuted the same year, actively looks better than this, and Lab Rats isn't a show known for its high-quality visuals. And yeah, she captures them. Throughout the movie, the parents have this running gag where they bicker about whether or not garlic is an effective defense against monsters.
Garlic does not repel monsters, okay? It's superstitious nonsense.
So we're monsters. Should have made her take more garlic.
Oh, please don't start with the garlic again.
The efficacy studies are extremely...
Studies are boring.
No, they're not boring.
I'd like you to guess right now if this ever factors into the story in any capacity. No, it does not. Good guess. Skylar, Sadie, and Henry are tasked with fighting monsters and head to Jake's Halloween party to fight off the high volume of creatures which would be there. Sadie and Henry are both scared. That's their whole thing. The movie accidentally forgot to give the two best friend characters different personality traits. They're both just traumatized by everything.
I will totally freeze up and look like an idiot.
The thing is, I'm actually going home now to hide under a bed.
She scares me.
And they both have the exact same arc to overcome their fear later in the movie. What drives me insane is that in a behind the scenes promo for Girl vs. Monster,
Disney Channel goes behind the scenes with a cast of the all-new Disney Channel original movie,
Girl vs. Monster.
the actor for Ryan describes Sadie as the fun-loving best friend.
Sadie's faithful, fun-loving best friend, and Henry's the kind of scaredy cat.
When she's literally not. She's the one who's super overly cautious about everything.
Sky? Hey, I'm not so sure that this is a good idea.
It's like one of the main characters in the movie wasn't even paying attention to anything in the script. Speaking of actors, I vividly remembered the name Olivia Holt.
starring Olivia Holt.
And I assume she must have gone on to do other things that I'd heard of in the many years since, but she really hasn't. And if I look at IMDb, Girl vs. Monster is the only thing she's ever been in that I've seen. So I think I actually just remember her name from the promotional material for Girl vs. Monster. The gang walks through the forest towards the party. They're attacked by spooky monsters, and it's here that I realized what this movie is. This is Disney's response to Nickelodeon's The Troop. Christian, quick change, activate! Okay, so Nickelodeon debuted The Troop in 2009, and it's widely considered to be the greatest show ever made. It was about a secret monster hunting division inside of this kid's school, and they fought they was oh my god, there's a giant worm, and then there's two worms attacking the school dance. That kind of thing. Epic based. Some guy already made a multi-hour video talking about it, so I can't also do one. That'd be like wearing the same dress to the Kwanzaa party, but the vibes in this movie are just The Troop. It is such a blatant ripoff that didn't even try to hide it. I actually think all of their boy-centric programming on Disney XD with cool blasters and action scenes and CGI was in response to Nickelodeon capturing the boy market, because all they had was Hannah Montana, rip my wig off, I'm Miley Cyrus, and all the girls were And I was like, yeah, that's so cool. But most boys just didn't have that reaction. They were like, that's lame. And so Disney had to catch up somehow. And that led to Lab Rats and Mighty Med and stuff like that to fill the content void. So there was an episode with like this green slime cube of in the troop, and I made the girl and the guy switch bodies. I wanted to see it so bad, but I had to go to fucking Disneyland because my parents made me, and I was so mad at them the whole trip because I wasn't able to watch that episode of the troop, and eventually I got to see it, and I remember that episode more vividly than that trip to Disneyland, and so I still deeply resent them for that to this day. Anyways, Henry sees his monster and gets literally petrified. Coincidentally, Scarlet Witch's best friends are the personal monsters of Skylar's best friends as well. Cobb needs to rush Henry back home to save him, forcing Skylar and Sadie to press forward on their own. With the quality of the action and the intensity of the stakes we're seeing here, it's easy to see why this movie has had a decade of glowing reviews such as, I recommend everyone from the ages 7 to 26-year-old watch this movie. I wish it was 3 times as long. If I could have 9 sequels, I still wouldn't be happy. Please share my message. I hope that when I die, I can be buried with a DVD of this movie. This movie came out 4 minutes after my father died, and I saw it immediately. The main character in this film truly inspired me to continue on with my life, even after my father passed away. My mother soon remarried a plumber who stuck his poop in my mouth. I truly attribute still being on this earth to this movie, Girl vs. Monster. Daimada tries to taunt Skylar's parents, but she is not having much success. And on God, I don't know how to describe how weird this scene is with words, so I'm just gonna show you.
As to how I'll destroy you. Anybody want to guess? No? Oh, come on. It'll be fun. Oh, wait. 4 words, right? You see what I'm doing? Okay. First word. You're not even trying. Okay, first word. Ready? No? Okay, one more time. Okay, fine. I'll just tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to scare you to death!
Yeah, good luck with that.
15 years of plotting. That's the best you can do. It's sad.
Really sad.
It's embarrassing, really.
Really humiliating.
It's terrible material.
But when she sets her sights on Skylar, the parents show fear, which makes Scarlet Witch cackle. She then goes to the house of Myra and possesses her. I don't know why Myra was the first person she chose to possess, like possess Skylar so she can't defeat her, or just possess one of Skylar's friends or parents and get her to let her guard down. But she just goes for this one random girl. Very cool. Skylar and Sadie arrive at the party where Jake invites her to take the stage.
Others agree to sing with us tonight.
Oh no, I totally forgot.
Terrified out of her mind, she fumbles and forgets the words. Possessed Mira then arrives and taunts her.
Oh, humiliating for you. The embarrassment of a lifetime.
The Wikipedia page was clearly written by children a decade ago. Keep in mind that red smoke had not been mentioned anywhere before on the page as I read the exact wording. Soon, the red smoke comes out and it transforms into Daimada. She then controls Mira and goes to the party where she publicly insults Skylar of being nervous to sing at Ryan's party, and Sadie comforts Skylar after she runs out embarrassed. Good work, Wikipedia editors. Skylar leaves the stage and Myra takes the mic, singing a banger musical number in her place. Keep in mind, she's still possessed. This is the ancient monster singing this teenage pop song. She didn't have to do this, but she is. This movie's songs aren't even good. They're just fluff. Like, whatever happened to philosophical and moving lyrics like, the day a door is closed, the echoes fill your soul. They won't say which way to go, just trust your heart. That shit's actually really deep if you don't think about it, and there's nothing like that in Girl vs. Monster. Sadie is able to comfort Skylar and give her a boost of confidence.
I can't. I'm too scared. I've been scared all my life. And you know what I learned about fear? When you run away from it, it just gets worse. I hate you. I hate you too.
Then they decide to get to work.
Oh. Hey, Josh.
What's up with the arsenal?
Just a costume. you know, pew.
Funny.
Yeah, bye. Josh?
Yeah?
Where are your feet?
As Skylar and Sadie successfully bust their first ghost, Daimata becomes agitated, shedding her vessel.
What a dance. Guess not.
I'm gonna assume that Myra falling down the stairs completely reversed her spinal injury because she walks totally fine the rest of the movie. Henry's been revived and Cobb says he's a coward if he doesn't help his friends.
Good idea. Yeah, I mean, if something's too hard, it's always best to just curl up into a little ball and quit. I mean, who cares if your friends are still in a jam and they need your help?
He's saying this to an actual child who just had a near-death experience, and the tone of the movie's like, good job, Cobb. You said what needed to be said. The girls need more capture pods because they only brought the one, apparently, and Henry ultimately volunteers to go. He's confronted in the forest again by his monster, but Henry's inexplicably and completely conquered his fear now.
Leave me alone!
I'm through with you.
He stands up to him, and it causes him to collapse into nothing. Now knowing the monster's weaknesses, apparently being the first person to ever discover this in the known 5 generations of monster hunters, Henry tells Skylar that facing her fear will defeat her monster. So she tells Ryan and the band that they need to put on a show. And they all agree despite being attacked by monsters. Even though performing was never her actual fear. Okay, anyway, yeah, okay, whatever. Wanda Maximoff slithers inside of Ryan this time and uses him to bully Skylar.
You're not actually going to sing, are you? You'll scare him to death. You're the worst singer on earth. You look like an idiot.
But Skylar simply tells Jake to conquer his fears in order to take control of his body again. And he asks Skylar out.
Will you go out with me?
Yes!
That was a contrived way to make the cliche Act 3 relationship spark happen, but points for originality. And now they sing a song, as Skylar faces her fears once and for all. And all of the other monsters disappear, except for her personal monster. That lady's still just vibing. It didn't defeat her. The movie's own internal logic contradicts itself because no one else conquered their fears here, and the only one who should have shriveled up didn't. Even while this is happening, Sadie confronts her monster and defeats hers. So there are 2 contradictory narratives happening. Daimata announces she's gonna go bully Skylar's parents. She's really going back and forth here. The parents weren't scared of her until she threatened Skylar. Now Skylar is not scared of her unless she threatens the parents. She's probably just crossing her fingers that Skylar and her parents don't communicate to each other, that none of them are afraid of her. Roof climax! Climax on the roof. We love those. Everyone kind of climbs around. Sadie and Henry, who just overcame their fears, are now cowards again.
Stay here! Yeah, I'm definitely staying here.
Good plan.
The parents' fear of their daughter getting hurt empowers Scarlet Witch, who just grows a couple more heads and makes some puns.
Oh look, twice the fun. Three's a charm.
But Skylar says, stop being afraid to her parents, and then they just kind of do. And Scarlet Witch is weakened, which allows everyone to shoot a gun at her until she blows up. Which is also kind of confusing because we learned Skylar is a 5th generation monster hunter. It's in her blood. It's super powerful. So is being a monster hunter a genetic thing? Because it seems like these guys just picked up guns and became pretty good monster hunters themselves. The movie makes it seem like the only difference between a monster hunter and a regular human is that a monster hunter has hunting monsters as their profession. Skylar isn't destined to be a monster hunter, right? Like if you're a 5th generation shoe shiner, that doesn't make you more powerful. You could theoretically stop being a shoe shiner at any point. It's an obsolete profession these days. The movie makes no attempt to make anything make sense, and that's okay, I forgive it. Now it's time for the closing narration. Skylar says everyone's afraid of something, but facing your fear makes you brave. Sadie gives a presentation in class fearlessly. Henry stands up to the bullies. Skylar and Mira are apparently total pals now, and they duet the song together with Ryan. Just a romantic couple and the dude's ex in a band together. The end. As a kid, when Girl vs. Monster ended, I remember thinking, wow, that was pretty good. But I wasn't doing that movie justice with an opinion as milquetoast as that. Rewatching Girl vs. Monster as an epic and powerful adult, it's clear to me that this movie is one of the finest cinematic undertakings in all of human history. It's a movie that makes you sit down, look in the mirror, and ask a difficult question. Are we the monsters? That's what the filmmakers intended, and I can proudly say that they accomplished exactly what they set out to do.
Dog with a Blog also aired immediately after Girl vs. Monster. If I had been thinking in advance, I could have done a Dog with a Blog retrospective today instead, but unfortunately I was not actively thinking about Dog with a Blog in 2022, making me the only person to not actively be doing that.
Look how long my fingies are.